Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hello, everybody.
Hello, greetings and salutations.
Oh, it's been a while since you've said that.
It is. I like to shake things up.
Yes, I know. You're a shaker and a stirrer. Hi, everybody. We have lots of really fun things to talk to you about today. And starting with our stats as usual, we tallied 12 primetime shows, out of which co-written by a woman, 58%, directed to 17%, mostly because of one specific show, which we will talk to you about. We have two things that we're saving for the end in case they're a spoiler in some way. We're going to be discussing this latest season, the fourth season of The Crown, and we're going to be discussing the last episode of The Undoing. But don't worry, we will give you plenty...
Ample warning.
Yes, ample warning before we get there.
We also saw a couple of female cinematographers, as I
recall. Grey's Anatomy now has a female cinematographer, which is great.
Yep.
But we're going to start with something really fun, which is a re-release of a lesbian classic. I know Mimi's not as excited as I am, which is why I'm the one telling you about it. It's the re-release of But I'm A Cheerleader, which came out 20 years ago, if you can believe it or not.
Even then I was too old for the movie.
Well, I know that they're young and it seems like it's silly, but it's actually extremely clever. It's a very, very fine parody, and I think that's why it became a classic. Mm-hmm. Directed by Jamie Babbitt and starring Natasha Lyonne, still in my favorite role of hers ever, Clea Duvall, Melanie Linsky, RuPaul,
Eddie Cibrian, I was surprised to find there.
Julie Delpy in like a 2-second role, Michelle Williams in a 2-second role, and all, babies. So this will...
Kathy Moriarty.
Yes.
Let's not forget Kathy.
That's right.
She was very funny.
This will be re-released December 8th on all your favorite platforms, Apple TV, Amazon, Vudu, Fandango On Demand, lots of places. Whenever we tell you something is coming out digitally, some of you sometimes ask, well, where? And all I say is Google it, because most of the time it's available on multiple platforms and you need to go and just see
what it was?
But I'm a Cheerleader,
okay.
Of course. And now what's special about it is several things. First of all, it's been remastered in 4K, and I tell you, it is fabulous to look at. I mean, just to be able to watch it as it's intended to be seen is already a pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it in well, it wasn't 4K on my television, but it was HD, which was plenty. The second thing, it's a director's cut, and to quote Jamie Babbitt, she said, "I uncovered some amazing lost scenes that I wasn't able to include in the original film, and I'm so happy to see them added back into this cut." Now, to tell you that I was able to spot them, no. If this had been An Unexpected Love, which I know by heart to memorized, I would have been able to spot them. I am not that huge a fan who has seen it a million times, so I can't. But maybe you will. Regardless, it's a wonderful film. And finally, it also comes out with many bonus features. Audio commentary from the director, the making of, many kind of fun, deleted scenes, other things. Well, deleted scenes that were added to the actual movie. So, in case you don't know what it's about, in case you've never seen it, if you're a lesbian, it's a must, I feel. It's a cult classic. And it's about a young girl whose parents realize, they see the signs that, she's a vegetarian.
Is that a sign?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no wonder
yes,
my parents
they actually throw it in her
face.
That she is a lesbian, and they decide to send her to a rehabilitation camp, also known as conversion therapy. But it's not, it's not like
they don't beat them over the head.
No. They just try to teach them how to be straight, and it's lots of fun. Again, the satire is very clever, and of course, there's a love story. It's fantastic. It's really a wonderful, wonderful lesbian classic. But I'm a Cheerleader. You really must check out the re-release. It's worth it. So it's coming out December 8th, anywhere you like to get your digital screeners.
As you can see, I have not much to say about it.
That's okay. I have plenty for both of us.
It did have some charm. Well, Black Bear, a film coming out now.
I'm growling
on
in
VOD. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
What did we just talk with?
We saw the stand-up.
It was a comic. Yeah, it was very funny. Written and directed by Lawrence Michael Levine, starring Aubrey Plaza, Sarah Gadon, and Christopher Abbott, all very excellent. I'm just going to read to you what.
Yes, because it's impossible to.
I don't know how to describe this thing. A filmmaker at a creative impasse seeks solace from her tumultuous past at a rural retreat, only to find that the woods summon her inner demons in intense and surprising ways.
And may I say, that's still not really what the movie's about.
As Leron wrote here, what the actual fuck.
Yes, my note is, what the actual fuck. I lasted through half the film, and even afterwards when I came in and out to see what was going on, I still kept saying, what the actual fuck.
Actually, the second part was better than the first part, I
But
felt.
still, what the actual fuck.
At least I could tell what was going on, more or less, the second half.
Now, it's important to say that the reviews were raving. The reviews were talking all about how it's so meta and how he went into places of meaning and blah, blah, blah. No.
Also, the trailer made it seem like there might be some lesbian undertones. No.
And especially because I know that a lot of you girls love Aubrey Plaza, I felt like it was important to tell you, that's not what. Don't.
She was wonderful. Everybody was terrific.
Yes. I just wanted people to know not to expect something that was not going to happen.
I mean, there was a lesbian couple, I think, but it was...
in the second half?
Yeah, the second half. But...
not Aubrey Plaza. No.
The first half is sort of, what's going on here? The second half is understandable. Aubrey Plaza plays an actress married to the director.
In the middle of the film, they reset it.
It has
they keep
a very
the same
sort
actors.
of shocking kind of an end. And
they keep the actors. They just shuffle them around.
And the bear
and
makes
give a
an
different
appearance
story.
twice. Once in the first half and once in the second half, or actually twice in the second half, I think.
But it's still.
But the second half is actually making a scene in a movie and trying to.
Yeah, it's supposed to be self-reflexive about the process of making a film, right? Yeah.
And that was intelligible. I could sort of understand what was going on there. I didn't like it. It was very histrionic and unsettling, which is what it probably meant to be. I thought the cinematography was kind of interesting. There's a shot that they do over and over and over and over and over again of Aubrey sitting at the end of a dock, overlooking the lake that at the retreat. With the cloudy sky, and she's in a red bathing suit, and it's kind of arresting.
But it's not enough reason to watch this movie.
To watch the film. Again,
kind of like why?
Why? Except that I just want to tell you, if you want to go look up some reviews.
The reviews saw it very differently.
Reviews might make you change your mind. So I don't want to damn it with my faint praise. I'm not even giving it faint praise.
It's not praise at all. It's kind of a warning. Beware. It's very odd. If you're a big fan of Aubrey Plaza, you might enjoy
you'll like it. She's in almost every scene.
Yeah. But it's. I found it to be.
Yeah, that was pretentious.
Sorry, didn't get it.
But you might. So.
Black Bear. Opening.
The bear was cute.
December 4th in select theaters and VOD. Now we have not one, but two Meryl movies coming out next week. So we have to tell you about both. Okay, so this is a heads up for... Yes, you starting with...
Yes, this is called Let Them All Talk. It premieres on HBO Max December 10th. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh and written by Deborah Eisenberg, starring Meryl Streep, Diane Wiest, Candice Bergen, Gemma Chan, and Lucas Hedges.
Just those first four names, plenty of reasons.
Yes.
Just the first name, really. But
and a famous author goes on a cruise with her two best friends. She's having a little bit of a...
They're kind of, I think, best friends from her past.
They
haven't been in touch for a while.
And her nephew. Played by Lucas Hedges. And there's a lot of water under the bridge, I think, having to do with her using them as material.
Les girls.
I don't think it's Les girls, to tell you the truth. It would be funnier if it were. It looks fun. I think it looks great. God. I love movies of these kinds with these older gals reuniting because there's just no one like them. Let's face it.
And the actresses.
That's what I'm saying. The actresses, they're all fantastic. Meryl looks hilarious.
As she just is.
And I think it's going to be fantastic.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Absolutely cannot wait to see it. And I like things about books and their subjects.
The process of writing.
The process and how it affects the people who are, you write about what you know, you take from your life. That's just what writers do.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be friends with a writer,
be careful. They'll write about you, especially if you make them angry.
Yeah.
I read a thing once that the writer says, don't make me mad or I'll write about you.
Well, I remember just briefly at Soap Opera Weekly, we interviewed a lot of stars, and most of them were absolutely lovely people, but a couple of them were really pains in the ass. And
not naming names.
I know I'm not naming names, but the pieces generally, because we were very honest and we wrote great profiles, I have to say, generally made note somewhere in the piece that this was not an easy interview.
Really?
Oh, yes,
Good for you.
yes.
So this is, sorry?
That's all.
This is Let Them All Talk, premiering on HBO Max December 10th. I have to say, HBO Max is shaping up to be
quite wonderful.
I mean, with all the
Warner
Brothers, yeah, that's a huge deal.
Now we're going to have to pay for those movies, but it's still going to be worth every penny of it.
Some of them.
Oh,
I just heard that there's
Woman.
a Matrix 4 coming out. Who needs another Matrix?
Weren't they all the same? I mean, I liked them, but to me, they were all the same.
Anyway, Let Them All Talk. We are looking forward to that one.
Very much.
Now, the second movie coming out the day after, December 11th. It's like a Meryl bonanza. I can't wait. It's coming out on Netflix, and it is called The Prom. Now, I have to tell you, with all its immense flaws, 2020 was a good year for lesbian movies.
Yes, it was.
There have been several lesbian movies that came out this season. Quite a few of them are some that are going to stick with me. Yeah. Ammonite, Happiest Season, even Shirley, we were just reminded the other day. And now, The Prom.
Yes, and I'm sure there were more.
There were more. There were for sure more. But I'm talking like big releases.
Yeah, lesbians were in, for sure.
So The Prom is based on the Broadway musical, which we have not seen.
No.
Because it wasn't our kind of music. But the story is fantastic, and it's directed by Ryan Murphy. So The Prom got the Ryan Murphy treatment.
Did you say who else was in it?
Wait, I haven't said anything.
Wait a minute.
Okay, starring, besides the legendary Meryl Streep, also becoming legendary Nicole Kidman.
Absolutely.
Kerry Washington, James Corden, Andrew Reynolds, Mary Kay Place, Tracy Ullman. And on and on. I mean, how could you not? So this is based on a true story. Now, I don't know how much of it is true and how much of it is imagined. I don't know how many of them actually sang in the middle of the street. But I would
guess none. But anyway.
This is a couple of girls in Indiana. Well, actually, one girl who wanted to take her girlfriend to prom, and the school wouldn't let her. It was a town, conservative small town in Indiana, right? And so in this story, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, and James Corden and Andrew Reynolds, they're Broadway people who read the story and decide that they're going to go and fix the situation.
Absolutely.
And bring all their
stand.
And they bring all their flamboyant Broadway flair with them, and it just looks like a delightful, sensational story with music, with lesbians, with fabulous actresses. It
does look like loads of fun. I mean, I would have been happier, I think, if they could have done it without it being mediocre musical.
It needs to be bigger than life.
I know, but there were a couple of scenes in the trailer of them dancing down the middle of Broadway with Broadway all lit up, and it actually made my heart hurt.
Why?
Because I want to be. I want it to be happening.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing.
I miss my Broadway more than almost anything, and except my friends.
This actually, in a time when we can't go see live shows and we miss our musicals, having something like this is is something that we need.
I just miss walking down that street and seeing those lights and going, shall we see this? Shall I see that?
Well,
Waiting to see.
there is light at the end of the tunnel.
I hope so.
There's a vaccine, several of them even, so hopefully.
And a real president.
Yeah.
And vice president.
So we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, The Prom is a must-see. Netflix, December 11th. We can't wait.
Yeah, be there or be
Square?
Queer?
Times Square?
I don't
Be there
know.
on Be Times Square.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I don't really think that season 4 of The Crown really can give you any spoilers if we talk about it, because most people know what actually happened
Yes.
during those years. It's not like it's not like this is a completely made up story.
Yes, and while dialogue may have been imagined, and
Right, most of the
events I think are true.
Rely on historical facts. So anyway, we're not going to go too much in depth.
No.
We're just going to tell you how much we loved
it.
season 4 of The Crown.
And had I realized that this was the last season with this particular cast, somehow in my mind I had the first season with clairvoyance, as we like to call it, and that cast, and that for 3 seasons, and then the next 3 seasons would be
it's
the Olivia
2-2-2.
Colman,
Helena
Bonham Carter, and Gillian Anderson.
Oh, Gillian fucking Anderson. Can we stop for a moment and talk about Gillian fucking Anderson?
Playing Margaret Thatcher.
Oh my God.
That's like the furthest away casting I can even imagine.
Who was the
and she
genius?
was brilliant.
Who was the genius who
I
came
don't
up with that
know.
idea? Or did she just say, I want to do that?
No, I don't think so. I think someone said, I think we'd like you to do this. And she said, what the actual fuck? But all right, let me try.
Well, she was
amazing.
mind-blowing. And Emma Corrin, young Emma Corrin, who I
Yes.
didn't know at all.
I don't think anyone knows.
Who stepped into some mighty big shoes.
Some big dancing shoes,
in Princess Diana, and did a phenomenal job.
Amazing.
And the whole, this is one of the most exquisite series I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so magnificent.
Olivia
and Ron hasn't
Colman.
even seen the first 2
I'm
seasons.
going back. Don't yell. Don't scream. I'm going back.
I'm not yelling and
no,
screaming.
them.
Oh.
That's been the reaction so far.
I
I've
watched
encountered.
it by myself. I couldn't believe that I had to watch it by
I'm
myself.
going back. But Olivia Colman.
Oh, Olivia Colman embodied the Queen. She was just breathtaking.
So funny too.
She's
just
she
the
can
most-
do so much with so little.
And Helena Bonham Carter, who really most of the time this season was pretty sidelined. She basically had one big episode.
She had one big episode, but it was one. But she's wonderful. Oh my God,
I know.
She made me. She made me be want to slap Margaret and hug her at the same time.
This was. Especially, I think, because of the Diana story and Gillian, Margaret Thatcher story.
The Margaret Thatcher story.
That last scene between Margaret Thatcher and the Queen
is just
basically had me a puddle on the floor.
Absolutely.
But Diana, because and I think this is kind of mirrors reality in the fact that here is this stuffy royal family, and you inject it with so much soul and heart and emotion. I did watch the season before this. And as much as I admired it, I never felt my heart being ripped to shreds like I did in this season.
Diana.
And it was just a much more emotional season. And also it had some gems like that episode with the guy who came into the Queen's room.
Oh, my goodness.
There were
what they do so brilliantly is they diverge from the main family's actual story, and then connect it back. They connect it back. They do things. Hello, Louise.
Hi, monkey.
They do things that are unexpected to give you a break from, the royal life.
Well, no, but also to show you what the actual life in the UK was at that time, which is important because they're not disconnected from, life in the UK.
It was it
was masterful.
Like the scene with the stag also, which was in the movie,
God,
but in a different way here, much more painful.
This was masterful.
It was. I cannot recommend, or can anyone else recommend this series more highly?
Yes.
It is just brilliant. Unless you think the royal family poo-poo.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if you don't watch it, even if you watch it as a complete work of art, as a fictional story, it's a fascinating story, whether or not you like the royal family in real life.
Josh O'Connor is so wonderful as Prince Charles also. And,
yes, you will hate him very much.
You will loathe and abominate him, but you will have a tiny
especially if you've seen the first 2 seasons and you know where he comes from.
Yeah.
a very interesting casting for next 2 seasons, for
Yes,
seasons
I'll
5 and
say.
6. We have Imelda Staunton as the Queen. We have Leslie Manville for
Who I love.
Margaret.
I can't imagine her as Margaret. But I love her. And
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Debicki
as
Diana.
Diana. Brilliant
Perfect height.
casting. Well, she's even a little
She's
taller
even a little
than
taller,
Diana.
yeah,
But I kept on noticing through this season that Diana needed to be taller than Charles.
Yes, it's part of
And she wasn't.
It would have been part of the dynamics of their relationship, I think. But anyway,
Watch
just
it.
fantastic,
Just watch
fantastic. Now, this is a big spoiler alert. If you haven't seen The
go
Undoing, or if you just haven't seen the last episode of The Undoing,
Go
we're
now.
going to talk about the last episode of The Undoing now. So,
Here's the last episode of The Undoing. Go away if you haven't seen it, okay?
to me, the most exciting thing in the episode was when the lawyer turns to him and says, because you couldn't hide the fucking hammer, could you?
Could you?
I was like, wow.
The murder weapon, you know.
Wow.
There was so much, and there were still twists and turns that made you go, But I have to say that while what I loved about this series, among 1,000 other things, especially Nicole, but all Hugh Grant was phenomenally good, and the kid was amazing, was that I never really knew who did it. And LeBron and I know who done it in almost everything. Although I have to say that I always thought it was him.
And that is why the show was good, because everybody, I think, was supposed to always think it was him, but they then started casting shadows in other directions, because also the book was called You Should Have Known. So that really kind of makes you think.
Giveaway,
right. So, but it's kind of like you were always right. You should have known, and yet you did think, wait. So basically, they made us Nicole. They made us the character who...
Although some people, even maybe myself, and not ever really, because in her private moments, there was never any doubt.
No. I think what I'm saying is they made us... They basically made us that you should have known, because even though it was pretty obvious it was him, circumstances, other people, what was going on, it made us kind of go back and forth. Could it be? Could it not be? Could it be? So you should have known. I mean,
there's one particular scene, episode near the end, where she has a conversation.
That's actually the penultimate episode, where she talks to the mother.
Talks to Rosemary Harris,
I know.
who is just glorious.
Just to show
and
you that there
learn
are
things
no
about
small
Jonathan
roles.
That just... That to me
that sealed the
cemented
deal.
it.
Yeah.
That sealed the deal. But there was still, when she opens the...
And the thing is that by then you can say, well, maybe we just learned that the father was a psychopath, so we know that he could have gone into the son. And then maybe he did it.
It was magnificent. I just think it was one of the best miniseries I've ever seen.
And so well made, and of course New York.
And New York. I have to say that New York is one of the stars.
Yeah.
And I am missing, I love my house in the vineyard. I love my yard. I love my animals, my birds. I'm so happy to have this place, but I miss New York with a palpable pain in my heart.
Baby.
And that New York that they show in this series is the New York that I miss. It is breathtaking.
It's going to be a little while before it gets back to that.
It is just the vibrance, the gorgeous, the photogenicness of it, the vibrance.
I know.
Amazing.
Anyway, it was a very satisfying ending, I thought. They managed...
Very, very...
Especially because, of course, the big satisfying ending is what she does with it.
Oh, my God.
More than the reveal of who done it is how she
done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. how she
got out of it.
Well, how she turned the tables on him.
Yeah. Without... Yeah.
So
it was fantastic.
Even until she was doing it, which was very close to the end, you were going, whoa! And as it suddenly dawned on him and his lawyer that she wasn't giving the testimony that
they thought
she was giving. And then it wasn't even over.
Right.
Up until the last second.
His ego kept failing
his narcissism.
Right. Anyway, what did you think about it?
Yeah, we'd love to know.
ladypartstv@gmail.com. Share anything you'd like with us. We hope that otherwise you are safe and well and healthy.
And remain that way.
And
please wear masks, social distance.
Stay home and watch Meryl
Streep.
Streep.
Yes, there's so much to watch.
And
here
Ammonite.
Comes the sun.
Here comes the sun. And Ammonite.
Yeah.
Ammonite is coming out. Ammonite is out. Go watch Ammonite.
There's
what are you doing?
a lot to watch. And even some of our regular TV shows have been back.
Yes.
So there's no reason to go outside.
There's no excuse.
Well, you can go outside if you can go outside safely, but I don't know how many, if you have your own space, you can do it, as do we. But if
try to just stay safe.
Yes,
okay, just stay safe.
Please.
Just take it seriously.
It's coming. The vaccine is coming. Take it. And life will begin to come back to normal.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. We will speak to you again
next
week.
Whether you like it or not.
Bye.
Bye.